Tool Pirates.
What's going on?
Live in the flesh. Forget that podcast stuff on the web and stuff. We're here at a small plant at our favorite place, and as you hear, they have the music playing in the background, so I'll see what I can do about emptying that out when I do the editing. But we want to welcome you back, and the Tool Pirates are back in person. So, Gabriel, how's it felt to be back?
Well, I'm glad to be back. First couple of times I was here prior, I enjoyed our time together doing this podcast. So I'm glad to be able to come out to Corpus Christi together and be able to do another podcast.
So this is going to be podcast 18 or 19?
This is 19.
And the last one we talked about was the unfortunate death of Mr. Floyd and the rioting that's been going on and stuff. What we want to talk about today is stuff that's off on the lighter side of life. Bring back some of the old stuff that we used to do. There's a stressful time with the pandemic and everything that's going on. So we want to give you a little bit of the old Pirates, original, how we used to do things. And so we're going to go and bounce some things off of each other since it's the first time back. And we do want viewership to go up because not that we were covering negative things, we were just covering very real things. And some of you need a little bit to escape, so if we can give you a little bit of that to escape, that's great. We've been doing these polls on the Tool Pirates, and so we did Garth Brooks versus, and if any of you voted, thank you so much for voting. It means so much for us to see our followers and fans, come out and give us. And some of you guys left really funny comments. But the Garth Brooks, George Strait, who won?
George, and when we put the poll up, we kind of figured that George would win. But I was telling Eric that when I was in high school, Garth was big, man. I know a lot of people, my junior, senior year, more people were listening to Garth than we were George Strait. So it was really interesting, and Garth got some votes. But of course, we kind of knew George was going to win, and George won pretty big too. So it was a good vote, but George takes it. He took it by many votes.
Yeah, yes. Coke versus Pepsi, you won?
I personally voted. Oh, by the way, I voted for George. But I'm a Pepsi guy. I like Pepsi, but of course we lost, and Coke won big, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't have as many votes, but Coke did win.
Aggies and UT. This is the big one we thought, and this was probably the second biggest compared to another one that we did. But I mean,
well, I'm going to tell you, I voted UT. I've always been a UT. Now, I'll vote for A&M. They're in the SEC, so they're playing LSU or any of those other teams. I always go for A&M. But I'm a Longhorn fan, and I thought we had a good chance to win. If most of my family would have voted, I think the Longhorns would have won. Because
he's calling you guys out. He's calling you out.
I know most of my family, they're UT fans, so they all voted. We could have at least made it close. We probably won. But A&M took it. I think they took it.
Yeah, they took it pretty. So. Yeah, like 77.
But I think most people in Lockport, which we have a lot of followers, are A&M.
Yeah. So then we also did one on the scariest movie of all time. We put The Exorcist up against Poltergeist, and who ended up winning?
I don't know. I didn't vote. I don't really watch scary movies.
The Exorcist won. I was just going to let you know that 61 to 39%. So it was a blowout. Most of these were blowouts. They weren't very, very close. And then one that we thought might be close, if not gone the other way, was America's team. Dallas Cowboys versus New England Patriots. And who won?
The Patriots. But, again, I'm going to tell my family.
There's no bet. Patriots won.
Family, did you hear this? Because, see, we all would have voted. Would have taken the Patriots. I could have gotten easy over 100 votes with my family alone. But Patriots won. But it's good. People are engaging in the polling, and I like that.
Next thing we're going to talk about is I'm going to do an either or with Gabriel. So I'm just going to go and tell him which ones he likes. We've done this in the past. He's not seen the list. He has no idea. But we've done different things over, like apples or oranges, rock or rap, different things like that. So I try to get some different ones. So I'll just read them off real quick, and he'll tell you as soon as what he picked. Gabriel, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Jello or pudding?
Pudding.
Would you rather drive or fly?
Dry.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Tattoos or piercings?
Tats.
Silver or gold?
Gold.
And are you more shy or outgoing?
Outgoing.
All right. So there you go. Did you say pancakes?
I said pancakes.
Okay, I take pancakes too. Jello or pudding?
I take pudding.
I take pudding. I'd rather drive. He said drive. Winter or summer? I take winter. He takes summer. Tattoo or piercings? Neither. He said tattoos. Silver or gold? I take silver. You took
Gold. Hey, wait a minute. He has to pick. You got to pick either tattoo or piercing. You got to pick one or the other. I mean, I know you would do either, but you got to.
Okay, I take the piercing due to the fact that I can take it out of a pill. Shy or outgoing? I'm shy. Actually, if you ever met me in person, I don't talk a whole lot and stuff, so I'm pretty shy.
I'm sure you guys can tell by the way he's always talking on his podcast. He's very shy.
Now to switch it up, we're going to keep going instead of just this drawn out stuff over major things. We're going to talk about some of the bands, our favorite bands or artists. I was going to say bands at first, so I'm going to go down mine, and then that'll give him a chance to think about things. 60s, 1960s, and we guys want you to comment. I want you to comment, because if you don't think that the bands I like are good, you better be ready to argue with me, because I know my music, all right?
Get ready to argue.
1960s, the Beatles. Bring it. If you think there's another band that you like more in the 60s, bring it, because I'll knock it down every single time.
Now, the Stones, the Rolling Stones.
All right, 1970s, the Doobie Brothers. You know I'm the Doobster, although I don't do drugs. 1980s, I'm going to throw out Genesis. I like Genesis. 1990s, the Ocean Blue, the greatest, my favorite band of all time. And I'm going to go ahead and link them in this. The Ocean Blue, you guys better appreciate this. 2000s, I'd say Coldplay. I really like Coldplay. 2010s, the Teens. The War on Drugs, which is a band out of Pennsylvania, also like the Ocean Blue. I like that. So, Gabriel, you said 60s, maybe the Stones?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any bands from the 70s that's your favorite?
Casey, Sunshine Band.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, Young Children. If you don't know who that is, they were one of the biggest bands in the disco era. I think they had 4 or 5 #1 hits. I'm Your Boogeyman and Shake, 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 Shake Your Booty.
Yeah, I actually still listen to it when I'm driving home from work. I have them on my list.
So if anybody out there has never heard of Casey and the Sunshine Band, which most people our age have, look them up. 80s. Who would be a band from the 80s that you like?
God, I listen to Metallica, Van Halen, Kiss. Those were the groups. Those were the bands that I listened to.
Okay.
The rock bands.
The 90s?
You know, far back as I can remember now, I still listen to the same. I got a little bit into Nickelback and stuff like that, but now, since 2010 and stuff, I really don't listen to any of these bands that come out. I still jam out to a lot of the old stuff.
I want to talk about some movies by the decades. If Gabriel doesn't really, I don't know if he's as big a movie guy as I am, but I was going to go ahead and go during the decades and list my favorite movies from those decades, and some you've heard of and some you might not have heard of. 1960s To Kill a Mockingbird. We all had to read the book in high school. You've seen the movie. Excellent movie, especially with what's going on today with the riots and stuff about how the justice system sometimes doesn't work. But we're not going to get into that. I love that movie. From the 60s. From the 70s, Jaws. Jaws transformed America. At the time that it came out, it was the biggest movie ever, as in making money and stuff. It changed people's view of going to the beach, that you could actually be eaten by something that you couldn't see. I remember watching it as a little kid, and it scared the crap out of me. But 1980s, the Vietnam movie Platoon. I must have seen that movie probably 50 times now. It shocked me as a 15 or 16-year-old kid going to movies to see it. It was raw. I'd seen Apocalypse Now and other World War II type movies. Nothing had ever shocked me like that. 1990s, Mr. Destiny. It's my favorite movie of all time. If you never heard it, I highly recommend you check it out. It's kind of a ripoff of It's a Wonderful Life. It's basically if you could change your life, would you? 2000s, I'd say The 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's immature, it's graphic, it's funny, it's great, and there's always a piece of it that you can laugh at. It's just a feel-good movie. And now I'd say Sicario. Part 1, the first one, was an amazing movie about the drug trade and what's really going on the border with people trying to move drugs and how America sometimes has to get their hands dirty and we can't always be these polite people and how the drug cartels are very dirty. And I thought it was an excellent story. Do you have any all-time movies? It doesn't have to be from a decade, just throughout your life.
I like Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club?
I like E.T.
E.T.
That E.T. was big. I like Jaws. I remember watching Jaws. I was just like you, man. I was a kid, man. I was like the first kid from the beach.
And we lived at Rock. If you know Rockport Beach, you can walk out forever, and there ain't never going to be a shark that's going to attack you. You can walk out it. Remember that your ankles would get wet after a half mile or something. People used to joke. It wasn't a beach.
Go deep and you come up.
Yeah, the sandbars out there.
But I remember E.T. was big. I like the Jaws movies. I like the Rocky movies. They were big. The Breakfast Club. I still watch the Breakfast Club now.
Did you like 16 Candles or any of those other movies around that time period? Breakfast Club was, to me, more serious, and 16 Candles was about having fun, and it was just a silly movie. Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I didn't really get into that.
Oh, that was good.
But I did like the Breakfast Club. I actually still watch it today.
So real quick, I haven't told one of Eric's famous stories. 100% true. You can fact check with anybody that was there. One night out at the Mexican Park, and if you've been following, you know what the Mexican Park is in Rockport. We were playing basketball, and I'm not going to say the man's name, but a man showed up after work with his work truck, and he was playing some basketball. And it was I don't even know if I was in the game. I think I was standing there watching. But I know that there was a friend of ours named Joe, and Gabriel was there. And then, oh no, I was in the game. I was in the game because my next door neighbor Nino, that if you know about, we've talked about before. He's in Florida and he's not in the best of health, so we send our prayers to him. But he was kind of a goofy guy. And he was, let's just say, feeling good that night. Let's just say there were some chemicals in the system. That's all we're going to say. So we're playing basketball. Me and this gentleman who showed up, I believe we're playing against Gabriel and Joe. And the man was dribbling up the side of the court. And Nino, being in the state that he was in, thought it'd be funny if he reached out and slapped the ball. So he slapped the ball, and the ball went out of bounds, and Nino just kind of giggled about it. And the guy just, lost it. He's all like, don't you ever touch the ball. We're playing a game. And Nino's always, it's cool. And he's all like, no, it's not. Before you knew it, the guy was on top of Nino. He drug him out onto the court, which was not cement. It was made out of the same stuff that you make a road out of. They paved it with the tar and the pebbles. So, as you pulled him by his shirt, his forearms and his knees were being drugged across that. So when he flipped him over and started punching him, he had already been skinned up, and you could see that he had lost all of his skin. Well, Gabriel and Joe were they were the closest. They're like, stop, what do you think you're doing? And he punched him a couple more times, and he kicked him in the back of the head. I remember a really solid kick. And Nino was kind of in shock, and he got up and he was crying, and we're all 16, 17-year-old kids. He got up and he started walking away back across the park to his house. And the dude who did this to him was like, yeah, that's what I thought. You don't ever do anything. Well, Nino's dad, who didn't speak very much English, came out of the house and he was trying to talk to the man. The man had he had an ice chest in the back of his truck, and he took a Budweiser out. And there was a light that shone over the small lower park that we played at, basketball court. And he leaned up against that and he cracked it open, and he was taking drinks out. When he took it out, Nino came back out of his house and walked across the park. And this is at night, so it's probably 10, 11 o'clock at night. Walked across the park to a house that nobody was living in, and they had done some work on it. And he got a big 2x4. And you can see him as he's walking. Blood is going down both shins, and blood's all over his arms. And Gabriel and Joe were like, hey, calm down, let it go, Nino, let it go. And Nino, every other word's mother effer this, mother, I'm going to kill you, dude. And as you see, as he gets closer, the 2x4 has a bunch of rusty nails through it. So he was going to take this and go to town on this guy. I turn back and I look at that dude who's a grown man. He's in his 20s or mid-20s and stuff, and he's leaning back against the thing with his beer like this, kind of like this. He's taking sips out and stuff. And Nino gets to about 10 feet, and Nino's talking, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, I'm going to do whatever. And the guy just does. And like a baseball, takes one step and throws it, and it hits Nino on the side of the face. Boom, he goes down. A full beer can to the side of the face. It was a perfect hit. He goes down, he gets back on top and starts kicking him in the back of the head. Gabriel and Joe's the stockiest guy. They're me and Gabriel were like twigs, we're skinny. They're like pushing the guy back. And the guy's all, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill all of you. I'm going to kill all of you. And Gabriel and Joe are trying to calm him down. I pick up Nino because he's not only is he bleeding from both elbows and both knees and stuff, but now he's probably got a concussion because he was kicked in the back of the head. He had the crap rolled out and punched in the face and stuff. I'm dragging him off, and his dad's like, please, no, please, no. And we're trying to get him to his house because part of him wants to kill this guy, and the other part is like probably, got a concussion. And I just remember Joe and Gabriel pushing this man all the way down the street, going away from his truck, just pushing. And the guy's trying to fight through them, and they would not let him get to Nino. And he's like, I'm going to kill this guy. And then he points at, I never forget, I'm getting Nino into his house to get him some help, and he points at Gabriel's face, just like this. He's all, I know who you are, I'll kill you. And then he points, this guy was gone. He was seeing red. He wasn't seeing, and he's pointing at Joe, I'll kill you and stuff. And they just kept on pushing. We finally got him to calm down. Nino stayed inside. We got him to stay inside, and the guy got in the truck and drove away. But that was one of the more graphic fights we saw at the park, and it's 100% true. And I never saw the guy come back out there and play with us ever again. He might have come out at other times, but I never played with that guy again. It was just a rare occurrence that he showed up. But he was not in the mood, and the whole thing started because Nino touched the basketball and knocked it out of bounds. So he was going to go get it. He was stoned, so he wasn't thinking. And so he knocks it out of bounds, and the next thing you know, he's assaulted and had the crap rolled out of him. And no cops, it was a fight. It was a fight. But I remember Gabriel and Joe, I felt concerned for them because I didn't really know who this guy was, but he threatened both of them with killing them. And, this is in the 80s. And I'm all like, dude, what the hell is this guy going to really come back and kill my friend? Is this guy going to come back and kill Joe? And Joe didn't live in our neighborhood. He came there and played a lot with us. I felt bad for those guys. He never said he'd kill me because I was trying to help Nino and stuff, but he saw these two guys preventing him from attacking Nino again. And it was very violent and much more life-threatening, realistic, whatever you want to call it, than what I can possibly tell you 30-some-odd years later over a podcast. But it was scary. Do you remember any of that?
I remember it all. I actually think that it got really close. I think where this man and Joe were going to fight. It didn't happen, but if I recall correctly, I think Joe wanted to step in simply because when Nino's father came out, I think Joe was. I would have taken the punches, and he would have gotten the attention off of the man and onto him instead of Nino's dad. But I do recall that they were going to. It was pretty close. Had the man gone after they went to the fight. But I do remember Joe and him kind of almost going one-on-one, but it didn't happen. Luckily, we were able to calm the man down enough to just get him in the truck and get him to go. But yeah, I remember it was scary because it's a pretty big guy, well over 200 pounds.
But it was all over just him knocking a basketball.
Well, you got to remember how many times he's had that next to other people and never had the response. Right. So that's why to Nino, it wasn't no big deal.
We were all friends.
He had done it many a time before. He was just going to get the ball and play. So it wasn't as it was a big deal. But this gentleman did go out there and play all the time. It bothered him. And it went to the point of becoming physical. It was actually amazing that, Nino didn't get hurt. Worse because it was bad. And you're talking about high school kids. At that time, I think maybe we were just out of high school kids going up against the guy that if we really wanted to, probably could have gone after all of us.
Well, the thing I remember the most is that I remember the thud to the back of the head, because if you think about like a guy kicking a soccer ball or a football, when you tee off, Nino was already on the ground, kind of out of it because he'd already punched him once, so he curled up in a fetal position, and then the guy just in the back of the head just kicked him with everything he had. It was
just,
just ugly.
let me just say this. So if you didn't want to stop, it would have been hard. You really would have gone after wanting to hurt everybody there. It could have gotten really bad very quickly. And the police would have had to have been called. I don't think he wanted to really hurt everybody. He was angry, but the guy he had the thought to just get in his truck and leave. I don't think he ever came back to play.
I don't remember ever seeing
him ever coming back. He wasn't a man that played there often like we did. Don't know if he ever felt bad afterwards, but I don't recall ever running into him on there in the park again. But yeah, it was scary. I do remember it, and I just thank God that we were able to get him in the truck and have him just leave without having to.
We're glad that you turned into podcast 19. I hate to say goodbye. We're going to be doing a sports one coming up soon. Hopefully the NBA possibly coming back, maybe even Major League Baseball. If you have any questions or comments, please send them to us. We try as hard as we can to get it out there, but you need to share. You need to share these videos to as many people as you can. Say, hey, watch these two guys. They're Rockport Pirates. They're the originals. They've been here since the 70s. They've seen it all. So I hope that you enjoyed this lighthearted, not as in-depth video. We'll get back into the other things later on, but we wanted you to have a good weekend with us, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Anything else?
Please, no, like I said, just share. We do like to read comments, so we do read every comment that's put out there, and most of the time Eric will be the one to respond. But share our polls. Just be looking out for the polls. We'll probably, we'll be putting them out about every other day at least. There's a poll that you want out, just let us know.
Any topic that you want. Now, we can only put up 2 things, so it can't be any more than 2. If you want, like, Garth Brooks versus George Strait, we can do things like that.
We can do bands, country, we can do restaurants, we can do anything that you want to see a poll on. The more people we can get for both, the funnier this is. So be looking out for polls. Like I said, we'll be putting them out every day, every other day, I think. And just remember to share and comment. And we'll respond back to any comments that you guys have.
So, peace. It's always good to see you, and it's happy to be back with a good friend. Boom, Rockport Pirate Power. Take it easy, guys.